All right, Twitch. What is going on, man? I need to, let's see. Yes? What's up, dude?
Got an extra croissant, bro. Some turkey.
Dude, no way.
Swiss cheese in there.
No.
Enjoy, brother.
Dude, thank you so much, man. You're the man. Appreciate it. Dude, roommate is the man. So, roommate is super, super cool. Housemate, I should say. Extra croissant with, dude, my levels are like not coming in. Test. Yeah, man. All right. Dude, guy made an extra breakfast sandwich, a croissant breakfast sandwich. Turkey and Swiss. Hell yeah, dude. What a guy. All right. All right. Zach, what up, dude? Man, it's all good, dude. It's good to be alive. I'm not going to start off by complaining. I'm going to start off by answering in the positive. Dude, it's good to be alive. Fantastic day, dude. Happy to, have a job that I love, that's purposeful, grateful, having gratitude for that. I had 3 flights today, and just love, the students, they're all really brand new, so it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of. How am I sounding, by the way? Are my levels coming in good? It's a fuck ton of energy, dude, I'll be honest. And so it's all good. It's good to be alive. But holy fuck, was it a pain in the ass last night trying to find the like, I don't even understand what the problem was last night when I'm trying to find when I'm trying to understand the issue with the Wii files last night. Chris Steve, what's going on, my friend? Dude, it's been a long time. Honestly, dude, I don't understand what was going on with the Wii, like, and it's just the Zelda game. It's just the Zelda game. So, like, I downloaded Dolphin, the emulator. It sounds weird as fuck and silly to say that. So I downloaded Dolphin, and now I can, but I did. I downloaded Dolphin. That lets me play the Wii emulator. It's the Wii emulator, right? Project 64 is for the N64 emulator. And the first sign that there were problems was when I downloaded Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Brothers got downloaded, and I was like, "Oh, did I click like the wrong thing? Like, what the hell?" And so I re-downloaded Mario Galaxy. It actually says Mario Galaxy, but it's not the file. The file is actually Super Mario Brothers. It's not, terrible. I actually still want to play that and see what that's all about. I kind of like the classic. It's like the new revamped version of like classic Super Mario. But I mean, dude, I want to play Mario Galaxy, so downloaded so downloaded Mario Galaxy, not Mario Galaxy, dude. If you're saying you're Mario Galaxy, you need to be Mario Galaxy. If you're not Mario Galaxy, all good, dude. But we need to be honest with ourselves about what we are and what we're not. You know what I mean? So the one thing that the takeaway from that is that it works on Dolphin. That is a Wii game, and that works on Dolphin. Now, I didn't take the time to like map, the my controller, what's what, you know what I mean? My understanding was like, you know, I wanted to open up Twilight Princess, see what the controls were, and then map them based on what the controls were. So I know that Dolphin works, and I know that at least one of the two games that I downloaded works. I know how to load it into Dolphin, whatever. So I download Zelda Twilight Princess, right? Right away it's weird because the folder, normally what happens is when you download the game, the folder is a zip folder. It's a zip file. And you unzip it, you extract it, and you extract it to wherever, the desktop or whatever, and it's when you extract it inside, it's a format that the computer recognizes that can be used by Dolphin, executable and playable, you know? After you, but immediately some weird shit was going on when I downloaded Zelda. It was just a file. It was not a zip folder. It was just a file. And the type of file that it was, the format, is not the same format as what is inside the zip file for the Mario game. Okay? I forget what the formats were, but like the Zelda game was a 7-zip. I have no idea what the fuck that even means, right? So all these different weird file types that I've never seen before. The file type that it was called an nkit. An nkit, it's a .nkit.iso, I think. Dude, I kept fucking going, dude. I just kept going because I thought I kept getting close and then it wouldn't work. You know, I tried to, Katie was on it helping me, dude. I thought I needed to make the file a zip file that would make it recognize. So we were converting 7-zip to .zip. We were going from 7-zip to like and so that didn't work. I tried downloading the Wii something manager. I forget what it was. It was like the Wii backup manager to try and like store it and like change file types. Wouldn't recognize the file. I tried downloading, and then I kept hunting, and then I found nkit.4 or nkit 2020.4.29, which was a program that was supposed to be able to take nkit.iso file types and change them into WPS whatever the fuck file types. What even is it? I gotta know now. WBFS is the executable file that Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. I'm looking at it right now. It's the file type. So Jesus fucking Christ, dude. The what did I just say? nkit 2020.4.29 is the whack ass name, by the way, for this application that's supposed to be able to take nkit.iso files. Step 1, I guess, is to change it to a straight ISO file. Step 2 is to change it from ISO to this WBFS. I'm like, bro, can I play the game or not? You know what I'm saying? Can I play the game or not? And if I can't, all good, dude. Now I know. But I keep getting close. I keep following a path to getting close to solutions that, first of all, never work out. But the path, the entire time I'm walking the path, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. You know? I know just enough to get like a couple of viruses on my computer. Now my shit won't stop telling me that Norton antivirus is like, you know, needs renewing and shit. Totally ironic. I have a Norton antivirus virus. Bullshit, bro. So, fucking point is, dude, I'm late to the stream because I was playing fucking N64 with my stepson, dude. Fucking fuck the Wii shit. Although, literally, what am I going to go do right now? I'm going to go to emulatorgames.net. Um, yeah, I mean, it just really sucks, dude, because, um, yeah, see, I downloaded new Super Mario Brothers Wii 2, The Next Levels. How about that? Dude, hey, guy, like, shorter title. You know what I mean? Don't they pay by the letter or some shit? God damn. New Super Mario Brothers Wii 2 hyphen The Next Levels. I wonder if that's a good game. New Super Mario Brothers. Oh, bros. We to the next levels. Like, review. Anyway, man. That is my story for the night. That's how that went, dude. It was pretty bad shit, I have to say. It was pretty bad shit. And it just didn't end well. I was telling Kate, I was like, I was kind of like agitated because it was a long day and my shoulder was killing me. Honestly, I was like, I'll go to bed as soon as I figure this out. And here I am, almost gonna figure it out. My shoulder's hurting, and but it's okay. I'm almost there, and then it didn't work out. And then I'm like, well, fuck, dude, I'm like not gonna give up. So I try for a little bit. I'm on the, now I'm hot on a new trail. Shoulder's still like hurting. So anyway, point is, man, I think what that means is because Dolphin is the one that I'm seeing all over the place, like to play Wii games, and so I know that works. I think I just need to find a Twilight Princess that works. I think, I don't know. I was bummed though because I was really stoked for that. I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick. Be right back. Brutal, right, dude? Yeah. But you know what? It's all good. You know why? Because we're all together, dude. We're all hanging out, and we're here to talk about IFR regulations. Let go. Um. So, you know what? Actually, let me get in the Discord. God, it's been like I feel like I need to like tend to the Discord. Um, for those of you that are subbed, I want to be here. Hold on. Yeah, I want to be in the. Oh, cool, man. Cool. Yeah, I want to be in the stream, or I'm sorry, in the. Oh, cool. Yeah, he did. He make that PLN. That's so dope. Yeah, I want to be in the Discord in case you guys want to like flag me down in the chat and meet up in the voice channel and ask me like any questions because you guys should be able to do that with you being subs. Um, I want you to be able to stop me and ask me whatever you want to ask, and I will, as always, like do my best to answer. And if I don't know, I'm gonna you already know I'm gonna be super honest about that and like be like I don't know, you know. By the way, really quick, just some insight. Uh, I have a student. I have several students right now. I have like I think six or one. Wait, one, two, three, four, five, six students, and they're all great, and they're all primary. And one student tonight, he's really great. He's really awesome, and I mean he's really into it. He reminds me a lot of myself actually in a lot of ways, and all good ways. But you know, some some of these good ways they're harmful. They're too much of a good thing. They're like too hard on himself, you know. They're good things that are being utilized the wrong way, and so they're harmful, if that makes sense. They're things that could be good that he just needs to learn how to. God, why do people think that that sounds fucking good, dude? And I just wanted to like bring this up because like I was watching him, you know, having a hard time tonight. And it's the kind of thing where, you know, I'm trying to motivate him and I'm trying to um I'm trying to be constructive. Like I'm not here to like sugarcoat shit. Like I have to also provide constructive criticism. But he's having a hard time, and so I'm trying to really focus on the positives that we were doing pattern work today, you know, and the pattern is real deal. Like you guys know, you know, the pattern is constant change. It's high energy. It's you know, it's always changing. Like everything, it's ebbing and flowing constantly. Dude, he didn't even do communications today. You know, communications in the pattern that comes later. But just the concept of flying the numbers and configuring the airplane quickly, and you know, it's hard. You know, it's really hard. I think to um, and I'll get to the point why I'm telling you this, but I just wanted to acknowledge some things first. Like I think it's hard to learn the pattern and not be hard on yourself because it really separates people. Like it really highlights a lot of things. There's a lot going on, and so when you fail at a lot of things, like it highlights a lot of things that you need to work on that frankly come are not perfected until later, you know, in the training anyways. But there's so much going on that, you know, only in the pattern can so many areas of improvement be highlighted, you know, because there's so many different things going on. You know, when you're out there in the practice area and you're working on, you know, pilotage, climbs, descents, steep turns, sight pictures, it's like, okay, you could be like not that great. And if you're not that great at something, it's kind of like you're not great at, you know, one or two things or three, you know, three things. But in the pattern, dude, it's possible to dude, there's like 100 different things going on and it's possible for you to be sucking at like 90 of them, you know what I'm saying? And that sucks. And I just wanted to bring this up because he was really hard on himself, man. I mean, I could see that my constructive criticism and my positivity like was not getting through. I think it was, but it just was like drowning. It was just drowned out by, I think, really harsh self-criticism. And I think honestly it probably wasn't self-crit. I was trying to diagnose it, you know, I was trying to ask him about it, and um I don't think it was him being I don't think it was him being hard on himself or you know, telling himself harmful thoughts. I think but it was like um I think it was just a lot of disappointment, you know. I think it was a lot of him seeing it going differently. And so it just really inspired me to want to talk about that and like opened up with that tonight. I don't know how it fits into regs, dude, but just be good to yourself, you know. Just be good to yourself, like balance it out, dude. Balance out the voices and um trust the process, I think. Trust the process. Trust yourself. You know, the people that are in this life, you know, here to help you be better. Um Trust those people, I suppose. You know, you got to be good to yourself. Be good with the things that we tell ourselves, you know. And you got to have balance, you know. You have to have balance between like, you know, wanting, you know, like you have to have balance of like constructively like being hard on yourself with like acknowledging like, dude, you kicked ass at this thing, dude. Like you were the shit at this. Yeah, you can do better with this and that, or and you know, next time let's work on this. Let's focus on that, right? If you just did this, then that would be a little bit better. But you were the shit at this and this and this, you know. And I think it's so easy to focus on the negative, especially when there's so much room for improvement. But I mean, the dude was doing nighttime pattern, you know. I told him like right like for all the whole thing. I'm like, dude, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. Like nighttime pattern is fucking no joke, dude. And so that's the first thing I think. Just be we got to be good to ourselves, dude. And the second takeaway is I think manage expectations. Like, god damn, that's good. What the fuck is it about a croissant that just is so fucking bomb and flaky? Um, we got to manage expectations, right? Like, again, you know, it's balance where you can't not expect yourself to do good. Like you can't not hold yourself to a high standard because then, you know, you're just comfortable all the time and you're not growing and you got nothing pushing you, you know. There's no like oomph, you know. Um Dude, right? What is up with that, Zach? Fuck, that's so true. That is so goddamn true, dude. Man. I mean, it's just the concept of like flaky bread is a mind fuck to me. Like, what the hell? So yeah, man, you gotta expect, you know, good, challenging, you know, you gotta expect things from yourself that help you push and, you know, be better and challenge yourself, even if you fall short, you know, like you still like move forward. But at the same time, like you can't like we can't. And that's what I was telling him about. I wasn't telling it. I was like, dude, you're gonna feel however you feel, but let me just tell you what I've gone through and what I've learned not to do, you know. And I was really trying to speak to him about him, but talking about myself. And what I was telling him is like, you know, yeah, I expected myself to like do certain things and like to you know, pick things up at a certain speed. And the problem with that is I'm too focused on, you know, I got tunnel vision going on with those expectations. And the problem with expectations that are high is that they might be too high and you're not in touch with how with them being too high. Because if you're not in touch with where you're at and where your capabilities are and where, you know, right, the reality is right now you know, in the very beginning of learning something, you do not have those tools yet, you know. You have to learn them over time. So you can't just come out of the gate expecting some miraculous shit to happen based on something that you don't really know about. You know, you don't know all the ins and outs to expect yourself. How can you even expect that outcome, right? What are you imagining that you're going to be able to do when you don't even know all of what goes into it to achieve that expectation? You can't do that, dude. That's called being set to fail, you know? So somewhere in the middle is the good spot, is the sweet spot. Somewhere in the middle is where we need to be. And for fucking sure, that's like really hard to find that sweet spot, that middle, because it's like, you know, part of, I think, of a good healthy, um high expectation for ourselves, is part of it is the unknown. It is like, no matter what, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna do it this way, right? And it's like, go get it. I love that energy, right? But at the same time, like, yo, be in touch though, like, with the reality of where you are right now. And realize, like, every flight you're growing, every flight you're growing, you know every opportunity, every radio call, every maneuver, moment to moment, our opportunities is an infinite continuum of opportunities to seize the day and be better than before, be better than that immediate last opportunity that just passed, you know moment to moment. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that you should really be expecting of yourself, to just moment to moment be present, figure out what those next two things are that you're working on, and have those next, the way that you go about executing those next things, be better than the way that you executed the last two things, you know? And then who gives a fuck about anything else, man? You know? So anyway, that's just, I'm not here to I'm here to talk about IFR regs and shit, and, like, it's going to be cool. And um but I just wanted to, like, kind of say that, because yeah, it really, like, affected me, dude. Like, seeing this guy have a hard time. He was just dead quiet, like, I'm trying to tell him he kicked ass at this, he kicked ass at that, dude, but yeah, he just, like, wasn't saying shit, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, he was bummed. He was bummed. And I told him, I was like, you know what, dude, by the way, I am an open book. I'm your instructor, dude. If there is anything that you need differently from me, if you need me to explain things differently, if there was something that I said that, yeah, next time, if you want me to, say it this way or whatever, or, if this, like, tugged on a string, like a heartstring or something, like, wrong, or tell me if I could explain things more thoroughly. Let me know. And he was like, dude, you did nothing wrong tonight. I'm like, okay. Because, I'm always looking to get better. I told him that straight up. I'm like, I am an open book, man. I am not here to tell you that I know all the answers and that you're going to do it my way or get the fuck out of here. That is not how this is going to go, he had a hard time. Yeah. Yeah, he had a hard time. So, and it sucks because he did good, dude. He did good. For nighttime pattern, early in the training, he did really good. And I think that's that. I just want to close on this. That I think that's, like, probably the biggest bummer. You know, I think that is. I think that's the biggest bummer in life when this happens, is we miss opportunities of actually seeing it how it really is. And who am I to say, like, how it actually is? I don't mean it like that. What I'm saying is like, I know from an instructor's standpoint, as a professional, as the one who's qualified and certificated to teach him how to do this, I can tell him confidently and with credentials that he did good tonight. But because he's upset about it, he's not able to see that. So it's kind of a bummer. Does that not happen with many students you get? Yes and no. The short answer is no. The short answer is no. And I'll tell you why. Because students do not get down on themselves to that extent. They will always get down on themselves, dude. They always, like, focus on the negative, dude. Students are, like, absolutely their own worst critics. They will focus on the negative. Oh, I should have done better. I'm, like, complimenting them, and they said, yeah, but I did this wrong. 1,000%. We already know that. Students do that all the time. But rarely do I ever see a student lacking, so lacking the receptivity to my positivity when I'm trying to restore the balance, because that's the instructor's job too, is to restore the balance. When you see there's an imbalance there, you got to restore that balance in a way that is, constructive still, or whatever. You're not here to be like, you were perfect at this, right? But you're like, fuck, dude, like I can't be like, you sucked at this and that. You wouldn't do that anyways. But I'm just saying, like, you have to like really handle those compliment sandwiches really carefully, and just zero receptivity, man. At least that I could see. I mean, I can only speak to what my interpretation was. Rarely do our students like that. Crazy, crazy, So, just be good. We got to be good to ourselves, man. Um, let's get into it, dude. Let's get into it. Real Charlie 6, what up, dude? What up? What up? Oh man, well, just you feel free to like go back and watch the VOD. I definitely would. I would recommend watching the beginning because I'm just trying to share. I just spent time like sharing some difficulties that my student had tonight in the pattern, and I did great on a lot of things and needed improvement on a lot of things, and he was really really tough on himself, man. So um, I was just kind of inspired to um, you know, speak from the heart and speak from my own experience tonight, and just even if for no other reason, just to remind myself, we have to be good to ourselves, dude. Don't be hard on yourselves. Manage expectations. um be reasonable, like be healthy, in the expectations that we set for ourselves. Have those expectations, you know be constructive and forward, moving, but like not, they got to be grounded in reality. And it was just it was hard to see. It was hard to watch, honestly, because he's the shit, honestly. He just doesn't know it yet. He just doesn't know it yet, you know um Oh, real plane. Yeah, we put a 1.3 of nighttime. Well, it was a point four. No, I think it was a point five of day or something like that, and the rest was nighttime. It was 1.3 total, and it was a pattern. And the pattern is busy as shit tonight, dude. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, man. IFR regs. Dude, I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it, brother. It feels good. I actually need to update my hours. I've got a interview next Wednesday with a charter company. It's a follow-up interview, actually. It's the last one with the chief pilot. I hope it goes well. Um and if they're not the one, then they're not the one. But it's a good deal, and it feels good to be in the air, and it feels good to be on the right side of 900 hours. And it does feel good to be in the air again, and I hope to keep it going. Speaking of charter and IFR flying, let's take a look at these regs here. Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm in the Discord. If you guys want to, if you're a subscriber, um, and yeah, Real Charlie 6. I mean, this goes to you too. If you're a subscriber, I'm in the Discord right now, and if you wanna, you know, let me know that you have a question and you wanna get together in the voice channel, just let me know, and we'll, we can divert. I want to be able to have you guys have a voice for if you're a sub. I mean, everybody gets a voice, you know, but you just type it. Um, and yeah, so I want that. Just let me know, like right here, like unless you want to type it, like hey, can you elaborate on this or that? But let me know how I can help, and it's all good. All right, let's do it. All right. So the instrument rating. So we're gonna be talking about the IFR regs tonight. Hit you up on Discord sometime this week. Work on CFI. Have a side project that could use some insight. You got it, man. You got it. That sounds great. Just want to remind you guys that it's totally not boring. This is my favorite slide in the entire presentation, dude. It is entirely not boring. I think that this is a really important slide, dude. As funny as it looks. Dude, first of all, this is like totally a party that I would love to be at. This would be awesome. And dude, I would totally be wearing that like zebra. I'd be like doing the party shuffle in the zebra suit. But yeah, regs, they don't need to be boring, dude. In fact, this is like a super important discussion that you know, it's all about the rules, man. It's all about knowing what the rules are. And I think too it's knowing not only what the rules are, not only because we need to abide by the rules, but we need a lot of the time the rules are not great for like a lot of the time the rules seem like they're there to protect the FAA, not the pilot. You know what I mean? And they're there to kind of include the most amount of a certain case. Um, and you know, like if you look at like VFR weather minimums, class golf, the fact that you could be in uncontrolled airspace below 1,200 feet in a mile of visibility and clear of clouds, like and be VFR legal, that's freaking wild, man. You know. So it's stuff like that, or you know, the fact that Part 91 operators in an IFR environment have no established takeoff weather minimums, like the Part 135 folks do, or the 121s, or whatever. You know, there's nothing in the Part 1, it's in the Part 91 IFR regs that says, you know, if the weather at your destination, you know, like if the weather at your destination is um like there's the weather, there's the alternate weather minimums, I guess but like there in the 135 you have regs where it's like if the weather is above, what does it say, something about like if it's above, um I think it says if it's above takeoff minimums but below minimums at your destination, you need an alternate or something. And then there's like minimum distance that you need to be able to land at the alternate, or I forget if it's forget something like that. So we have versions like that at Part 91, but I just think my point is that they could be more, you know, they could spell out more things. I think there's a lot of wiggle room, like and so my point is like we need to know what the regs are. We need to know where the wiggle room is, and you know, set personal minimums for ourselves based on those things. Um, you know, so that we don't end up in bad situations. Okay. Um, let's see. Actually, I want to say we should get into because you know I have a couple um of VODs on my YouTube of the Part 90, like 91, 167, 169, 171, 173, 175. And you know, I'm thinking what could be interesting is like IFR related regs that are outside of those um, IFR regulations, actually, like, in other words, it's one thing to cover 91.167 through 185, which are the IFR regulations themselves, like under instrument flight rules, but it's another thing to kind of look at other regulations that include things that have like instrument rating like implications, So I think that maybe we just have like a short discussion on some of the other regs that we have not yet covered, because we could just beat to death 91.167 all through 185, and we could just beat those to death like over and over again, But there are VODs on my YouTube for that, and I will return to them, but it'd be kind of interesting to kind of look at how some of these communicate with the IFR regs, or like how they might operate in the IFR environment. I think that'd be like a way more interesting way to do it. So we'll take a look at some of these, especially 61. Like, it's interesting to think about, like, how do you keep your recency? How do you remain recent in your experience? And because as pilots, we're familiar with the biannual that we all have to go through, unless you pass a check ride or something. In which case your biannual resets. But yeah, recency of experience, would be another one. Yeah, PIC final authority, and who gets to make the final call, and to meet the needs of an emergency, and who has the legal authority to deviate from any regulation so as to meet the needs of an emergency, insofar as it is not careless and reckless. Yeah, dude. It's kind of interesting to think about IFR from the POH standpoint, and instrument, IFR being a kinds of operation, and the equipment required in a kinds of operation equipment list that's in a POH. I think that when we think of the regs in the IFR, we don't really think of operating in accordance with your POH, but it absolutely, like, that IFR is a kinds of operation, and we gotta follow the POH for sure. Pre-flight action is actually kind of one that I wanted to jump to, maybe even skip operating with the POH, but because it'd be kind of interesting to look at pre-flight action from the IFR point of view. Maybe that is what we'll do. We'll do that. We'll definitely focus on 103, because what you're gonna find in 91.103 are like, what are those items, and if you are planning to operate IFR, some of those items will be specific to IFR. So 91.103 is like, it's pre-flight action are just the things that you need to have done, whether if you're either IFR or operating not in the vicinity of the home airport, of the airport where you departed from. Which, let's be honest, like, we need to get the weather all the time. Like, we need to do it all the time, whether even if we're in the pattern. But runway lengths and takeoff and landing performance. Okay, we need to take a close look at that when we're IFR, and takeoff and landing performance not only means can we meet can we climb at a good enough rate. What good enough means something different when we're IFR. For example, when we are on an ODP or we're on a SID that requires a certain minimum climb performance, that is what that 91.103 pre-flight action, the takeoff and landing performance, really should be based on. Not just some looking in the POH and being like, what's our climb performance today, right? Fuel requirements, 91.167, right? Fuel requirements is part of 103, but what we are talking about when we're IFR is actually linked in 167. So here we have some communication between things in this reg. Yeah, clearances, dude. That's interesting too. from an IFR standpoint. It's so heavily team-based communication. And we got all our IFR stuff that we know about. Definitely. And this is one that actually I'm still developing. I'm really, really excited to finish this. I believe in February I am due to start an advanced course with the Microsoft Flight Sim official page or channel, and teach the instrument rating. So one of the things that they were asking me to offer that is different is, you know, speaking about some of the 130, you know, transitioning into 135, maybe talking about I don't want to, and without speaking too out of turn, you know, but speaking about jets, transitioning to jets and turboprops. You know, doing the best that I can on that. I'm not even an MEI, but yeah, I mean, I'm, you know, comfortable like talking about certain things. So, but at a minimum, being able to talk about the 135 regs for sure. So we won't spend any time really talking about these today, though. I immediately regret this decision. It's funny. All right. Let's see here. So here you guys can like take some notes on if you have a FAR aim and you want to do some really cool IFR reading. Here are some really good. I think I actually have some more. No, those are them. There are way more interesting things. I mean, dude, crack open the aim randomly and read it. It's such an interesting publication. But specific to IFR, and like, dude, like 70%, 75% of the aim is like IFR specific. You know, it's IFR related. So maybe 70%. Here are some interesting sections to read, you know, if you wanted to take some notes on those. All right. So let's talk about, let's see where IFR shows up when we're talking about IFR regs. Let's shrink that down. Oh, dude, hold up. My bad. There we go. Cool. I'm gonna get, let me get something to drink really quick. I'm parched here. We. Oh, hell yeah, dude. All right. So the lady just got here. I'm going to let her in, and we're going to talk about recency of experience. And we're going to go. Let's open up the see, I don't think this. Oh, that's right. The new the new ECFR is up. That's right. Okay, cool. Hell yeah, dude. 61. Um. Right. Okay. Title 1. No, Title 14. Aeronautics and Space. Chapter 1. And it's going to be Airman 61. All right, cool. And this is 57. See, that sucks, dude. They should like make it more like oh, there we go. Okay, wonderful. Okay, guys. So 6157, boom, right there. Okay. Burb. Thanks for watching. You're cute. I love you too. You're beautiful. Dude, chill. Oh man. All right. Everybody say what up, Katie.
What up, Twitch?
What up, Gwit? All right. So first of all, for those of you that are kind of unaware of what I'm talking about with regulations and why, like, Katie in the house, yeah. So fucking, so fucking cool. Exactly, exactly. You know who the fuck's up. For those of you that just want some like clarification, really quick. So, the regulations, when we think about what the rules are for flying, really the rules for anything in our system, in our society, like when we're talking about the laws, we're talking about the Code of Federal Regulations, okay? And like all these different titles that you could just like a ton, all the labor laws. I don't even know, dude. Telecommunication, you know that's a freaking transportation. So we find ourselves in aviation looking at Title 14, Aeronautics and Space. So within Title 14, generally speaking, we find ourselves in Chapter 1 because the parts the basically what happens is in Title 14 there are a series of chapters in this Title 14 series of chapters, and these chapters are, I know it says chapters right here and stuff, but really what these chapters are made up of are what are called parts. And the parts, each part is a different like sort of chapter on the rules pertaining to a certain thing. So let's look at this right here. What are the different parts that make up this Title 14 here? We've got Max, dude, sub. Thank you so much, man, for the sub. You're awesome. Good to see you, man. Um, we've got different parts that we want to be aware of. So, like part 1.1, right? It's called definitions and abbreviations. So, the first chapter, really, like the first part, is all about definitions. What an airframe is. What do we mean by air traffic? What a clearance is. This is super annoying that this thing pops up they got pop-ups all over the place. Air transportation. What do we mean by a category? Aircraft category with respect to the certification of airmen, or category with respect to the certification of aircraft. So, right, part one is super important. We've got part 43 is a good one. Part 43 is reference to maintenance and preventative maintenance. So that's the part that describes like kind of what are you allowed to do, like if you're an aircraft owner, what kind of preventative what kind of preventative maintenance are you allowed to do? What kind of records do you need to keep? Limitations. You can't, you can do things that um uh let's see here. Yeah, dude, different things that you're allowed to do that pertain to um the maintenance of an aircraft. Yeah, all right. So 43, maintenance, preventative maintenance. Um a lot of the time, uh the big chapters, the big parts in Title 14 are often referred to, that are often cited, are part 61 and part 91. 61, you can see here, is in this section right here. 61 is between 60 and 68 regarding airmen. And you can see here 61. We've got 61.1 to 6160. We can see a whole bunch of those. And you can see these are all the rules that pertain to if you want to become certified, if you want to gain certification as a pilot or as an instructor, what is it that you need to do? And the way that that's broken up is in these subparts, right? It depends. Well, 61 is all about the certification, right? The certification of pilots and flight instructors and ground instructors. But if you want to be it depends on what kind of pilot you want to be. Like if you're a student pilot, there are certain regulations that govern things like what, solo requirements go into being a student, What are some of the limitations of a student pilot? What kind of cross-country requirements are there if you want yours to be as a student, what's expected of you? If you want to be a private pilot, kind of like the first real base level. I mean, there are recreational and sport and all that stuff, but if you want to be a private pilot, what kind of aeronautical experience do you need? This is all the stuff that you need to do to get certified. You got flight instructors and stuff. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so part 61. What are we talking about? Like, again, 61 pertains to the certification of pilots and instructors, and so here we are talking about 6157. We're talking about recent flight experience as it relates to the instrument rating, these are the rules associated with once you are instrument rated, how do you keep your instrument rating? And if you are outside of that period, you have what it's going to say is that you have a certain period of time to do certain things, and outside of that, what are your limitations? How do you get it back? Those kind of rules, again, pertaining to the certification. So here we are in 6157, which is in that first subpart. 57, recent flight experience, pilot and command. Now this is a large section. You can see there's a lot of stuff here about how you can maintain your ability to exercise your privileges of pilot and command, and exercise the privileges of your pilot certificate. Okay. We're not going to go through all of it, but what you'll find are some in general. You need, to carry passengers 90 days, within the last 90 days, 3 takeoffs and landings. And you got some other stuff in there if it's night or if it's a tail wheel. Okay. Night and landing experience. Okay. So that's there to carry passengers. You have a certain amount of landings that, at least 3 landings in 90 days. And the idea is like, not that, you're going to you not fly for 3 months. You take a passenger and you go, oh, let me be right back. I'm going to do 3 takeoffs and landings so I'm legal. Dude, you totally defeated the purpose. The intent of that 3 landings in 90 days is 1 landing per month. You know what I mean? And again, we go back to the beginning of this stream where I said, like, we need to know what the rules are so we could establish personal minimums, because these laws, like 1 landing per month, are you kidding me? To take a passenger? Dude, you should be flying, if you're really planning on taking up a significant other or a child. These are people that are assuming that you are there. This flying is beyond their comprehension. They're assuming that you're doing everything that you can. You know more than them, so who are they to say that you're not in any shape you're not proficient to fly? It's like they don't know that you are actually not proficient. You are not proficient. But here you are, legal to take them. As my girlfriend is sitting right behind me, and that sounds sketchy as fuck. But that's why you have personal minimums, and you establish personal minimums, saying, no, I'm not going to do 3 in 90 days. I'm going to try and fly once at least every couple weeks. I'm busy. Maybe I'm working. I'm, family. Once every couple weeks. Fine. Then there you go. JCLAVs, 3 takeoffs and landings are also applicable for CASA regulations, which is FAA for Australia. Oh, no way. Are you serious? See, but I mean, I hope that they teach it the same way over there, where it's like, dude, 3 in 90 days? It's freaking crazy. So here we are, not in 6157A, B, or C. Oh, actually, yeah, we're in C. Not in A or in 6157 A or B. We are in C. Instrument experience. Pertaining to the instrument rating, what type? We're not talking about carrying passengers. We're talking about that plus other things, right? What does 6157 C say? For instrument experience, except as provided in paragraph E in the section, persons may act as pilot command. We're talking about people being able to act as pilot in command under IFR. That's what we're talking about. What do you got to do? Or in weather conditions less than the minimums prescribed for VFR, right? Which is its own regulation. What do you got to do? The acronym here is 66 HIT, right? We know about the 90-day 3 takeoffs and landings. 66 HIT. Within the previous 6 months, 6 approaches, holding, intercepting, and tracking of electronic navigational courses, I think is what the actual language is. Yeah, navigational electronics, using electronic navigational systems. Okay, Jesus. So what that just includes GPS. It's VOR and GPS. All right. Um, what constitutes an approach? All right. The idea is that you cross there's a legal interpretation out there that that says a couple things about what counts as an approach. And I think this is a good example of like what is the intent of the law of the regulation here. Okay. Um, for the idea is that you cross the final approach fix under sole reference, and that you conduct the final segment, cat toy. That you conduct the final segment under sole reference. All right, and that's you don't need to go down to minimum weather. Like you don't need to do it under minimum, with minimum weather, like in actual conditions down to minimums. But you do need to, technically speaking, you do need to take it to the missed approach point. Um, if it's on the ILS, then it's down to your DA. If it's a localizer approach, then you're down to an MDA. And so now what that legal interpretation also says is a couple other things. First of all, unless you are given, you can either be a couple things can happen prior to the final approach fix. Okay, you could either be given vectors to final on an intermediate, headings to intercept an intermediate segment, and get on that intermediate segment, cross the final, do the final segment, whatever, and that counts. But otherwise, if you are not given vectors to final, technically speaking, you need to do all the segments of the approach. So from the initial and all that stuff. So it is helpful to, I think people will just sort of contrive, do like in a very contrived way, like just shoot an ILS down to whatever, do a missed approach, like level off early and stuff. Technically, there are certain things that qualify as an approach that you would do in the 6 months. So now, so we know this idea: 6 approaches in 6 months, holding, intercepting, and tracking. And we know what counts as an approach. What happens in the 6 months if the 6 months pass and you're not able to fulfill that? By the way, in those 6 months, to retain your, for those 6 months, you are eligible to accept an IFR clearance, file an IFR flight plan, and fly in weather that is less than VFR. Okay. You are able to retain that recency of experience in an airplane. If you want to go up in an airplane and do your thing in IMC, you're able to do that. You can go in an airplane in VMC, and whether it's IFR or VFR, you don't have to be IFR to do this. You could be in VMC, and you could be IFR, you could be VFR. And if you are in VMC and you intend to do some flying under the hood with the view limiting devices, then you need a safety pilot that qualifies. But you are able to do safety pilot things within the first 6 months to retain your IFR currency. It's not like you have to wait for the safety pilot stuff. You have to wait outside of that 6 months to be up. In other words, for the 6 months that you are still eligible to act as PIC under IFR, it's not like the only way that you can retain those privileges is by single pilot IMC in an airplane. That's absolutely not the case, right? You can go up there, safety pilot stuff. You can actually go do any combination thereof. You could also retain your recency of experience in the sim, in an FAA approved aviation training device. You can do these 6 approaches in 6 months like in a Redbird or something like that, you can do that. No double I is needed. Although, hit me up and I'll gladly be there. Uh, so that is the 6 month period of time. Okay, so again, what's the intent is at least one a month. Something. 6 approaches in 6 months. The idea is hopefully you do once a month. If the 6 months expire, it's important to understand that you do not need an IPC yet, but you are ineligible to file IFR, act as PIC under IFR. You cannot accept an IFR clearance, and you cannot fly in weather that is less than VMC, right? Basically, you need to get current again, okay? And getting current, you are able to do, we'll talk about that actually in a second. Getting current, we'll talk about that here in the 6 month grace period, okay? But the idea is like, you can safety pilot stuff under sole reference, VFR specifically, right? You can't be in the cockpit. You can't, it's not like you can try and you have to do your 6 approaches, right, to get current again. And you go up in the IMC with a friend who is current and they let you fly. Like, technically speaking, you can't, you are not eligible to be PIC while under IFR, and the reality is, if you are outside of your currency, like, the person who's flying needs to be the one who is eligible to fly. You know what I'm saying? And that is common sense. If your IFR, regardless of the weather, if you are operating under IFR, that means you accepted an IFR clearance, you're operating currently under an IFR flight plan, you have the fuel, presumably, you're legal, presumably. You have the fuel to, the flight planning that went into that IFR flight. You got your alternate airport. The person responsible for flying for this flight knows the alternate, the fuel, what the backup plan is. They know if they are the ones who made sure that the aircraft has the 91205D IFR minimum equipment in there. Like, they are the ones who's doing this flight, not somebody that can go up with someone who can be out of currency, not eligible for any of that, go up under IFR under somebody else's wing, and then somehow, in hanging on to their coattails, like, get current again. No, like, you're out of currency, go safety pilot, be VFR, and regain your currency the right way. Okay. And then if 6 months goes by, so we're like a year out now. You were eligible for 6 months to be PIC. Those go up. You have 6 months to get current again, and now you haven't done that. It's been a year now. You are legally required to get an IPC. Now, personal minimums have come into this multiple times, and they show up again with the proficiency check. Like, dude, if you go into your check ride, right, and they say, like, what are your personal minimums on on this IPC, like, dude, it's possible that you could never slip out of that second 6 month period of time, and never legally be required to get an IPC, and you never have one. It's like, you could set a personal minimum to have an IPC once a year. If you're not always in IFR somehow, maybe, it would be a good idea to think about that, and get with the double I to give you an IPC. Now, the double I isn't the only one who can give you an IPC, and you need to know that too. But, and it's in 6157 who can give the IPC. But yeah, so set those personal minimums. Yeah, so 6 month grace period after the recency of experience has ended. Like we said, you could do it in AATD. No double I needs to be present. That was actually relatively recently that was in the regs. I want to say in the last, certainly in the last 10 years, um the regs changed to you no longer need a double I there to get regain currency. You definitely don't need a double I there, obviously, to retain the currency, but yeah, no double I needed to even regain it in that 6 month period of time. So yeah, privileges and limitations. Like when you look at the ACS for the instrument pilot, for the instrument rating, it's in the first section, privileges and limitations. Really important that you understand, like, you know, not you cannot act as pilot in command in IMC, or IFR. How it does say no, you're not eligible to be PIC in IMC and or IFR, and they do that deliberately because it's possible to be in IMC and not IFR. It is possible, right? What they're saying is not only can you not be IFR, but you cannot be flying in IMC in class golf either, you know? Which, by the way, dude, if you're outside of IFR currency and you're flying in weather that is sub VFR in class golf, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You know what I'm saying? 1 mile clear of clouds is VFR for class golf. You're flying in weather less than that, and you're not IFR current, bro. So you got other problems if that's what's going on. You got way bigger problems than you're not fucking current. So and yeah, and I think what their point is too is you are not eligible to be IFR even if it's VMC. Like it's possible to be visual conditions and still be IFR. Okay? So, yeah, the thing about class golf is you need to be in controlled airspace to be under IFR. So, that's why they separate it like that in the reg. Okay. The other limitations too, I mean, that really should be on here is no class alpha, but I mean, cool, man. Oh yeah, yeah. So something to know about 6157, and it tells you right here. I mean, it's the same. I mean, 6 approaches, 6 months, holding procedures and tasks. I always laugh at that. Like, I always imagine holding procedures and tasks. Like, it's kind of syntactically like ambiguous if they're talking about holding tasks, or like, what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about I have to get up there, do my approaches, I have to hold, and then while I hold, I have to like play a game of Sudoku? What kind of tasks are you talking about? They just throw that in there. All right. Oh, I was saying about the IPC. You guys said my sound is good, right?
Yep,
Test, test. Oh yeah. All right, cool. Because my level is like not showing as high as it usually does.
I thought it sounded great.
Ah, thanks.
And I think Zach said it sounded good too.
Yeah, a couple people said. Huh?
Keith?
Yeah, Christine.
Yeah, he said it sounded good.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. What? What? You're cute. I love you. All right. Um. Okay. Instrument proficiency check. So yeah. Um. Let's see here. Oh, dude, and yeah. So sorry, you guys. Spoiler alert. So we got kind of a late start tonight, and yeah. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get through this reg and maybe a couple more as they pertain to IFR, and then I gotta save my sim probably for tomorrow. just as a heads up. So if you guys, I know, a lot of the time people are looking for sim, and less about the ground, more sim. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to rain check you guys for tomorrow. But otherwise, keep sticking around for the knowledge. For the IPC, so the thing to know here about the IPC is it is way more detailed in this regulation, 6157D right here, what goes into the IPC. Way more detailed than what goes into the flight review. Way, way, way more. The flight review is extremely straightforward. It says that, every 24, within 24 calendar months, to act as pilot in command, you need to have gotten your flight review, right? And the flight review's got to consist of the training and have a discussion and up to date on the Part 91 regs, operations, flight rules, the maneuvers and procedures of the aircraft to be flown, and anything else that the evaluator deems necessary. Like, that's literally all it says for the flight review. It's kind of like, what? Meanwhile, the IPC says, like, you got to cover all this shit. You have to cover all of this specific stuff. And, I should say this, which is a lot. ATC clearances and procedures, departure procedures, en route, symbols, SIDS, stars, approaches, approach procedures is its own thing, but attitude instrument flying, different nav systems. So yeah, there's a lot that goes in here, and it's essentially a watered down instrument check ride. So, and then like I was saying, the instructor is not the only one who can give an IPC. So it's good to know the 5 different folks that can give you an IPC. An examiner, somebody, contracted or, authorized by the military, company check airman authorized to do so, in a Part 121, 25, 35, CFII, or anybody else that the FAA deems capable. So just knowing, what needs to be covered and who can do the IPC. Okay. All right. And then let's talk. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, responsibility and authority of the pilot in command. You know what? Let's actually talk. Let's see here. Let's make our way forward. Definitely, there are situations that would necessitate the pilot, like these. The pilot to take things, matters in their own hands and deviate from the regulations so as to meet the needs of an emergency situation, for sure. We know that the PIC determines airworthiness of an aircraft, and when you're talking about the instrument rating, certain things, same as before, need to be going on, right? You need to determine it's safe to fly. Are all the documents there? Are the inspections up to date? Are there any airworthiness directives? But here's the thing, man, is some of those inspections are IFR specific. We learned about AV8s as an acronym. The V is the VOR, tested every 30 days. That's for IFR operation. We're talking about things that we need, to make sure. There's the static and altimeter test every 24 calendar months. The transponder, we need that. So it's you need to make sure. But also, The airworthiness of an aircraft. The PIC needs to determine not only is it compliant with 205B VFR day equipment or 205C, the VFR night equipment, but D, the IFR equipment, grab card is the acronym. So yeah, we'll talk about that probably another night. There we go. So we'll talk here tonight about 91103, and we will relate. How often do you typically check the maintenance logs in the real world? Pretty much, I check the maintenance logs for any aircraft that I am about to fly for the first time, and that is the truth. And I don't give a shit, dude. Like, also, I mean, it's a great red flag to see right from the beginning if they're like, "What? You don't need to see that. What do you want? You're gonna make me dig those out?" Bitch, yes. Like, what do you mean? Like, how do you not even have them ready? What do you mean dig them out of where? You know what I mean? So there's that. And then certainly, like, I've done test flights or, taken an aircraft like first out of maintenance and stuff. I'll look at like aircraft logs. Like I brought over that 152 that's at the flight school right now. I was the one to fly it after it was purchased, and they did they did the pre-buy, they bought it, they flew it back from Washington down here, or Oregon down here, and then they did some repairs, and then I flew it to the flight school. Like I took the Uber out to the plane, and so before, I'm out there without a car or anything, it's really tempting to just hop in the plane and fly it back. But I'm like, no, it's possible that shit is not in order and I need to Uber back. So I'm over here just really going through it with the mechanic. Like we're going through it together, looking at all of the inspections. I'm like, where's the ELT? Where's the annual? Where's the 100? Where's the altimeter static test? Where's the transponder? What are the ADs? Where does it show that they're compliant with it? And which entries? Is your signature in there? Does all the shit, dude, And where's the propeller book? Where's the airframe? Where's the power plant? So yeah, is the engine's been overhauled? Or I mean, it's a new engine, so we're breaking it in still. So then now for how many more hours? So I need to know. Yeah, you got to know that shit. So I do look at those maintenance records actually. But then after that, like, I typically don't, if I'm being honest. I don't look at them like before every single flight. Yeah, just the shit that makes sense. Like it's not, I don't need to like go crazy about it, but yeah. So 91103, let's read it together here. So again, we're going back. We're out of 61. Right? We're out of 61. A lot of interesting things. Oh, here's that flight review, by the way, I was telling you. 6157 or 56. Look at this. It just in A. Everything else is like whatever, But you got to do it by an authorized instructor or whatever, and all that stuff. But it shit always blows my mind. 6156, really the A right here. Current Part 91 regs, and then the maneuvers and procedures that at the discretion of the person giving the review are necessary for the pilot to demonstrate safe exercise of the privileges of the pilot cert. It's like so vague. So vague. But then 6157, what, D or whatever it was? It's like you got to do this. But you know what's cool is if you're trying to be an instructor, I forget the name or the number. I think it's $61.98 actually. Oh. Oops. It is that one. Currency requirements and guidance for the flight review and instrument proficiency check. Oops. So you can read this and what's really cool about this, man, as an instructor, dude, these advisory circulars, it's like that's something that you want to start building, in your your iPad or whatever, and like, have a folder of these advisory circulars, like some of the common sense ones, dude, like the advisory circular about like, what constitutes common carriage or flight for hire, private carriage versus common carriage, or like advisory circular on the endorsements, like as a flight instructor, like writing endorsements and shit like that. This is definitely one that I would recommend having in that arsenal of ACs, and it's just guidance on the need for reviews, like flight reviews, GA accidents and automation issues, and flight instructor responsibility, safety culture. There's some dope shit in there. I kind of sound like a nerd saying that that's dope shit, but there's some really, really great stuff in here. And then, you get into the actual flight review and, guidance on what to cover, structuring it. And you're not alone here in like, well, where do I even begin? This guy's been out for 10 years. He doesn't even know like what, class Charlie is or whatever. And it's really nice, surprisingly not a lot for the flight review actually, but this is actually kind of nice. Yeah, there's like quite a bit here. I was gonna say that in comparison to the proficiency check, but yeah, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Talking about wings, dude. The wings program, the proficiency program from that you can get through AOPA. Review, angle of attack systems, maneuvers and procedures. It's the stuff that you would think that needs to be covered. Should review at least these maneuvers: critical safe flight, takeoffs, stabilized approaches and landings, slow flight, stall recovery. Yeah, man, And then the IPC, all the IPC, the requirements to conduct an IPC. It needs to be a double I. Yeah, it's great stuff, man. Knowledge portion, skill portion. What do you got? Dude, look at all these ACs in here, man. 6165, that's your that's the endorsement. So actually, you're going to go give somebody a IPC or a flight review, the endorsement that you mark in their logbook, they give you guidance on what the wording should be. The wings program, hooking them up with that. How about that, dude, right? Single pilot flight school procedures during taxi ops. The AIM, the airman certification standards. Dude, it's all here, man. This is, Jesus Christ, this is awesome, man, right? Manuals. So, yeah, it's good shit. Oh, dude. Risk management. You know what I mean? Personal minimums worksheet. Come on, dude. It's awesome. Links to like dope shit. So anyway, yeah, man. It's really great. So that there's guidance there for whether it's the pilot or the flight review or the instrument proficiency check. there's guidance for you like as an instructor, but dude, guess what, man? There's guidance for you too as like the applicant or like the whatever, like the person, you know what I mean? Yeah, Real Charlie 6, absolutely, dude, go for it, man. Go for it. We'll do it absolutely. Yeah, no sweat, dude. No sweat. Oh, dude, that sucks that you have to go. You know what I'm saying? God damn. But I'm really glad that you're leaving like right. I mean, I'm not glad that you're leaving right now. I'm saying that that it wasn't earlier. I'm so glad that you're leaving right now. No, I'm glad that you stayed for the advisory circular shit and like, that's an important resource for these are important resources for CFIs for fucking sure, dude. Yeah. No, you're great. And I'm really glad that, by the way, like, we can talk about these regular Part 91 regs, like, with respect to the instrument rating rather than just go, predictable 167 to 185. So anyway, fantastic seeing you, dude. And yeah, we'll catch you later. Just DM me. It's all good. Yeah. So going back to, we're leaving Part 61. Let's go to 91 and go to 103, and then we'll end the evening here. Chapter 1. Yeah, so we're in a different subchapter, right? 61 was in here in Airman, the certification. Really, what you're gonna find is parts of the regulations. They're typically going to either be certification in nature or operational rules in nature, right? So certification parts are like we said, part 61 or 119 certification parts. Operational rules are like part 91, 135, 121. Those are 142, 141. Those are and actually let me double check that. 141. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's actually 141 and 142. These are kind of a mixture of the two. But essentially, this is a certification part, it looks like. Actually. Certification stuff, inspections to remain, this shit is a certificate. Yeah, bro. If the word is in 80% of the names of the damn qualifications in that chief instructor certification. Oh shit, I didn't read either. Cool, man. So yeah. So part 91 is where we're headed to now, and that is an operational rules part. All right. Sweet. Okay. Now we are I gotta get some more water. I'll be right back. But here, I'll leave up the 91-103 here. Flight rules. Bam. Oh, wait. Bam. Bam. There we go. Pretty straightforward, dude, right there. Katie wants to be covered up, and that's fine. Even though you can hear her laugh. Cute. You're cute. Get that going down. Sexy ass baby. Katie, don't fart, they'll hear you.
What a jerk.
Oops.
What a jerk.
strength of blue stuff.
Do you want to never see me again? Do you hate me that much?
Hey, you my God. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at 91.103 and first of all, what is part 91? Part 91, so remember part 61 was the certification of pilots and instructors. Part 91 is the general operating and flight rules. They are like the actual rules of the road. So we've got rules. General flight rules. We've got things like the responsibility and authority of the PIC, who determines airworthiness of the aircraft, what defines careless and reckless operation. These are all rules, right? What are these are really the hardcore rules, like 101 through the rest, like using seatbelts, airspeed limitations, using your updating your altimeter. This is a rule. Like, what are some of the operations required for Class Charlie and Bravo? Needing a clearance. Where is ADS-B required? Where is Mode C required? These are rules, operational rules. Okay, so what we're talking about right now is pre-flight action, and that is one that honestly, that's one of the first regs that I teach my students. My style is usually the second or third, depends on kind of where they're at, but second or third lesson. Pre-flight ground is a before we fly, not checklist, but it's a before we fly matrix. And the matrix is broken up into 3 different columns of things that I want the student to start developing a cognizance of before we go fly. In other words, there are at least 3 columns of information, of things that you want to be thinking of before you go fly. And one of those columns is 91.103 pre-flight action. And I talk about what even are the regulations? What do you mean by part 91, 103? What does that even mean? I don't get into regulations hardcore. It's not a regulations lecture. What I'm saying is that, hey, by the way, before you go fly, you need to understand that you have a legal obligation to do certain things. And that legal obligation comes from a set of rules, that is one rule of many rules that you will learn about through this course. But this 91.103 is real deal, your obligation to do certain things before the flight. Things that you will learn, but that you need to understand, these are not rules of thumb and shit that your instructor is saying you should do for the fun of it. It's because you legally need to. And that those rules, are broken up. Like I say, there are different parts, and 61 talks about this, 43 talks about this, 91 talks about this. This is where they are, and we'll go over them. But anyway, yeah, these are those, right? That's one column. Another column is the pilot documents that you need to have, right? What are the documents that you need to bring and again, I explained to them, like, by the way, all of these are regulations, right? But I just want you to know, like, there's one regulation that defines an entire column, like, of these, um, pilot documents, certificate, medical, um, photo ID. And then the third column is really aircraft airworthiness. Like, what defines airworthiness from the standpoint of, what are the required documents and aero, right? But also required inspections. And then I'm like, we'll come back later on to required equipment, how to handle inoperative equipment, right? And I explain those are all regulations as well. But really, I just start with that column of airworthiness. Like, I just start with like aero, and I'm like, look, like, these are the required documents for the aircraft. I might get into aviates and like required inspections because it's kind of an easy list. But my point is that 91-103, I'm like, this is the business end of like stuff that you got to do. So what do we have to do? Each pilot in command shall, before beginning a flight, become familiar with all available information concerning that flight. This information must include, by the way, all available information. Dude, goes back to what I was saying about some of these regs, like, they kind of stink of, like, the FAA really protecting themselves, because if somebody gets in an accident and something real bad happens, they can say, well, we got this, like, where was the FAA on this, or why didn't, they go, oh, did you get all available information? They go, well, no, we weren't able to do this in this and this because of these time constraints or whatever. And they go, oh, I'm sorry. So you didn't really comply with 91-103 and get all available information, did you? Well, but no, I mean, that's not, I mean, we didn't, but, okay, so I just need, anyways. For a flight under IFR or a flight not in the vicinity, so anytime you're IFR or on a flight not in the vicinity of the airport, weather reports and forecasts, fuel requirements, alternatives that the flight cannot be completed, and any known traffic delays. The pilot in command has been advised by ATC. For any flight at all, okay, runway lengths at airports and takeoff and landing distance information. Okay. Aircraft performance under expected values of airport elevation and runway slope, gross weight, wind, and temperature. So we got to do that weight and balance. That's where the so wind and temperature. So that's like performance stuff. We can take all that information and put it in an acronym that we refer to as ROBFAT. All right, be thorough. And we're going to see that each of these things pertain to the instrument rating. All right. So looking at R, runway lengths and takeoff and landing performance, we see, we know that we look to the airport diagram. We know that we can look to the TAC chart or the sectional chart for the in the chart symbology for the longest runway available, like that's a number on the information box. But with respect to King Cobra, what's up, dude? With respect to the IFR, first of all, personal minimums are extremely important. When we're talking about takeoff and landing performance and these runway lengths, like whether we're going to go or make a go, no-go decision, we really, really need to be looking at personal minimums way more closely than we would be at with the visual than if we were VFR, or private pilots. Not to say that private pilots don't need to be looking as closely as personal minimums. What I'm saying is as a private pilot, it's a little more cut and dry. Like, usually it's a little more cut and dry what's a no-go decision. Pretty much like anytime the weather isn't great, you're not going. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, it's important for everybody to look at the weather and make a good go no go decision based on a preponderance of evidence suggesting that it's a good decision to go. It doesn't matter what kind of flying you're doing. But what I'm saying is that the lines can literally be gray, or blurry, like when you're instrument rated pilots. So those personal minimums are super crucial. And we discussed personal minimums in the departure procedures lecture for taking off. And we said that personal minimums are based on that we can start basing personal minimums for departing an airport IFR based on the way that we would need to approach should anything bad happen and we need to return to the field. If we have a passenger that starts like having a seizure, or we have a vacuum failure right after takeoff and we need to declare an emergency and get vectors partial panel for a an instrument approach, it'd be good to have those runway lengths and takeoff and landing performance, like these personal minimums set as far as which runway we're using and what type of performance is required for us to not only depart but also return. Okay, so one of the things is personal minimums. We look at the performance required. How are we actually getting in? What kind of weather do we need to in order to depart? We said that well, if we're departing Long Beach and we end up having an emergency and we're able to do the ILS, assuming that the ILS isn't NOTAMed out. What type of weather should we would it need to be for us to not go? And what we said in that departure procedures lecture is if we're very experienced and we are very familiar with the area in the airport, we might we might double the ILS minimums here, 220 feet above the ground. That would be and I always round up. So here you are, doubling this is 440. I just round that up to 500. If the ceilings are anything less than 500, like, we're not going. Max, dude, we'll see you, man. Thank you for stopping by. You're awesome. Thank you again for the sub, brother. Well, we'll talk soon. Let's get in the air. Let's get you in the air soon. You could double you could either double the localizer minimums, or you can add 50% to the localizer minimums. Doubling that would be let's just say that's 500. Doubling the localizer minimums is 1,000 feet. Adding 50% we'll revise what the video tomorrow morning. You got it, man. Yeah, hit it. I'm right behind you, man. It's kind of a late night too. We can add 50%. If this is 500, see you, man. Hey, thanks for stopping by. If this is 500, then 50% of that, let's just say, is 800, right? So that, if it's 500, then half of that is 250, and rounding 250 up to 3. 5 plus 3 is 8, 800 feet. We could do the same thing and add 50% to the circling minimums. Let's just round that up to 8. Half of 8 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. 1,200 foot ceilings. So that would be like if we were brand new, like yesterday we got our instrument rating, and we have only a few hours of actual time, maybe we don't depart unless the ceiling's above 1,200 feet, or fuck it, dude. Like, don't go out unless the clouds are at or above the final approach fix height, So, if the field elevation is sea level, essentially, and it's 1,600 feet on the altimeter to cross the final on the glide slope. 1,600 feet on the glide slope is the final approach fix. It's 1,600 feet above the ground, So, here is 1,200 feet above the ground if you're using 50% increase to the circling minimums, but you could just call it an even 1600 minimum, and what that would guarantee you is if you were to depart and fly around partial panel and get vectored back around, you're crossing the final approach fix and immediately popping out of the bottom, and you can see the runway. So here's that. Okay. Other concern about takeoff and landing performance. Normally we go into the POH and we say, we say, oh, awesome. Yeah, we're section 5, and we need to look at the the climb performance, because we need to make sure that the density altitude doesn't keep us on the ground, and that's really important. So we pull up the climb chart, right? Rate of climb. And we say, oh, dude, awesome. Yeah, we know. But this is not when we're IFR, this is no longer enough to just do that. We need to put the pieces together. And now that we're IFR, we come here and we say, okay, no, we're doing the ODP out of Long Beach. We can't just look at the climb performance and say, oh, yeah, 600, 700 feet a minute, that's a good number. Well, we don't know that. We need to check the departure procedures for Long Beach or whatever airport we're flying out of. See, it's that shit. God damn it, dude. How the fuck do I get that off of my computer? Do you know how to get shit like that off of your computer that just pops up? This freaking dumbass.
It's like a scan that your thing is.
It's a scan thing, dude, and it says roms-download.com. That was that shit that I tried downloading the games from.
Okay, we'll look at it.
All right.
I wanted to remove a file or a program.
God. I sound like a noob, dude, but I don't care. So here we go, right? Takeoff, and again, what's the point of what it is that we're talking about? We're talking about not an IFR reg. We're not talking about 91.167 through 185. We're talking about 91.103 and how this reg now has new meaning when we are IFR. And what does this mean with the King Cobra's got it, dude. King Cobra's got you covered with the PC related stuff. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that shit off my computer. It's probably really easy. Like, go to start and, like, down here or something, and, like, some shit like that in programs or something. But anyway, yeah, we're trying to put all of these pieces together, not only personal minimums, but IFR departure procedures and performance requirements go into takeoff and landing performance. Right? We're over here doing the Long Beach ODP, 26 left and right. 26 left, 225 feet per nautical mile. We need to make sure that we can do that. Uninstall. Oh. Add. Okay. Oh my god, because this shit's been pissing me off for like a while. Yeah, should find it there. Damn, what was it? What the hell was it called? Yeah, dude, some of this shit. Oh, do you remember what I just called it, babe?
No. The thing?
Yeah, the thing. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, now I know where to go real quick. Thanks for helping me, dude. Yeah, okay, cool. We need to make sure that we can do 225 feet per nautical mile to 2300. 225 feet per nautical mile. Yeah, like I was just clicking shit like crazy last night to try and get this um Twilight Princess on a Wii for my I got the Nintendo Wii emulator, the Dolphin, and this fucking shit was just had me in circles, dude. I went to bed fucking dizzy as shit. So yeah, we need to make sure that we can do 230 feet per nautical mile all the way up to 2300. Go in here, right? Can we do it? Can we? Isn't that Dora the Explorer? Doesn't she like? Can we do it? Or is that Bob? That's Bob the Builder.
I have no idea. We never watched Bob.
Babe, the kids.
We never watched Bob. The Builder.
Well, King Cobra says Bob. Zach said we could fix it. We can fix it. He's got
You're adorable.
Oh, thanks. I think you are. All right. Yeah, Zach's got it, dude. Okay, cool, man. So we really need to yeah, put those pieces together is all I'm saying. Alternatives if the flight cannot be completed. So one way that I think about alternatives is if is going to the same place but along different routes. You know what I mean? And so with IFR, we're kind of there we go. With IFR, depending on how how close our destination is, we're not likely to get a ton of different possible routes to places. But you know, it is good to have like an alternative route in mind to know like you know, for example, I guess actually I never really taught it this way, but now that I think of it, you have some of these routes are dependent on the traffic flow of larger airports. So an alternative would be like, you know, if the winds are really shifting and you might you want to anticipate that how the shifting winds will cause the traffic flow of larger airports to change. You have to understand that will change your route. That will you know, make ATC give you an alternate route to the same destination, right? If Torrance is or excuse me, if LAX is in east traffic, like then traffic is doing, you know, this if LAX is in east traffic, or if there's John Wayne as well. If John Wayne is in San Diego. If San Diego is in east traffic, then you're getting to San Diego, right? If you're trying to get to San Diego and they are in east traffic, then if you're a jet or a turboprop, then you're doing that. So that's kind of an idea, like IFR specifically. You know, if you're VFR, then, you know, just plan a different route, you know, potentially. Maybe based on weather and stuff like that. Weather reports and forecasts. Definitely see that the last stream that we did a full IFR specific standard weather briefing, complete with PIREPs, icing, different types of icing reports, METARs, TAFs, winds and temps aloft. We looked at airmets, sigmets. We looked at the GFA, and you know, and then what we did, we looked at aviationweather.gov, and then for IFR specific, you know, because we're talking about where's the single supercooled large water droplets, where's that, because where that is, then we know where the clear ice is, and that's going to affect our procedures. Are we certified for flight into known icing, which goes back to the Part 91 reg about operating the aircraft in compliance with the POH. The POH doesn't say you're FIKI, then you're not. And if you are, then you need to apply those de-icing mechanisms in the way that the POH says to do it, you know? So that whole thing, you know, it's super important. And then we went into ForeFlight. We generated a standard weather briefing in ForeFlight and looked at all of that information again and looked at the NOTAM. So you can go ahead and go refer to the watch that previous video. That was a really good one. That was a long one, but honestly, dude, it was great. There were a couple things, especially in the NOTAMs, that I had to look up. I forgot how to read the little aspects of certain ones, but there you go. And then the fuel requirements, VFR versus IFR. You can definitely go back to a previous regulation video where I talk about the 91-167, which is the fuel requirement for IFR flight, and how much fuel do you need to bring. What 91-167 talks about is that you need to bring enough fuel to your destination, an alternate airport, in 45 minutes after, and they're under certain conditions, under certain weather conditions at the destination, could you possibly omit an alternate airport, you know, from your IFR flight plan, but you know, under certain conditions. But yeah, 91-167 will say that fuel requirements for IFR flight and the alternate airport. The alternate airport it's really interesting because here we are, we're in 103, and we're talking about, these are specific regulations found in different areas. The alternate airport is 91. Well, there's mention of the alternate airport in 167 and 169. And it's just interesting because only in the IFR regs can you find rules that govern what determines the eligibility for an alternate airport. In VFR flying, there are no rules that govern what what determines the eligibility of an alternate airport. There are no rules governing that, you know. And you don't even need to bring you don't even legally need one, you know. But IFR, you do legally need one, and only under certain conditions may you elect to not have one, but otherwise you need one. So the alternate airport, what we've talked about those those aspects of the regulation in that IFR regs discussion, 91-169. We kind of we talk about that. So with that, you guys, I got to sign off for tonight. That's it for me. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out and contributing to this this great discussion on regulations. I've been really looking forward to doing this, and I kind of want to do more of this where it's like all these different regulations have little bits and pieces of the instrument rating in them, and you can find IFR related regs, or at least regs that include IFR instrument rating nuances that are outside of 167 through 185, and I think that that's really interesting. So all right, guys, and we'll talk soon. I'll actually see you guys tomorrow, and have a great rest of the evening, of the afternoon, or the morning, wherever you're coming from. Talk soon. See ya.